Good morning, guys. So we're starting to warm up again. It's actually only minus 34 degrees Celsius. Feels like minus 47. And we got to take the 720 up north to the North Farm. So we got to get it going. Now, just so you guys know, this is not my first 7 Series Fendt tractor, but this is the new 724 Gen 6. Here, see if I can, there we go, zoom out just a little bit here. And these are not cold weather starting tractors. They just are not. Like, if it gets down to like 0 degrees Celsius, like, you better have this thing plugged in and it's still gonna barely start. They're not very good starters, okay? I've got many videos on trying to get these things going in the cold. Like, not even my Chevy would start if it wasn't plugged in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug it in for a few hours, and then we just put this Wabasto on here, okay? So this will get our antifreeze, our engine coolant, I don't know, like 150 degrees or something. It's gonna get it nice and warm, like Fahrenheit. And that will help us get going. All right, so we got some extra spare antifreeze in here because they just plumbed this thing in, and you never know, there could be some leaks. I see that this thing fell off. This is our timer. Oh, it gets cold, nothing works. And then this here is our cord, which is like rock hard right now due to the temperature, and it just goes down into here, plugs in there. So I'm gonna go find an extension cord, and we're gonna plug this puppy in. All right, so the tractor's been plugged in here now for a few hours. So what we want to do is we want to fire up this guy right here, okay? That's gonna circulate our engine coolant, and it's gonna warm it up on top of being plugged in. Now, you can set these puppies, so, well, it used to be stuck up here, but you can set these. Actually, I might see if we have power here. You can set them on auto, so you can go through and, okay, so it's 1:20 p.m. I've set it to manual, as you can see. So say I wanted to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I think the longest run time that you can set different run times, but I think the longest is about 60 minutes. And I know it's already set for 60 minutes. So we could actually page through here. There's this dial. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but. Okay, right. Oh man, it's so cold. So then we can page through. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna try to put it down here. Struggling here. Struggle is real. Go to mode. You know it's cold when the little screen bit doesn't want to really operate for us here. There's, you can set your autos and your manuals. Then when you go into auto, you can actually set up the different times and so on and so forth, whatever you want to do. But we're gonna leave it on manual. We're gonna go back again. And we're going to turn it on. So just turn it on, hit this button, the Wabasto up here. See the red lights? Red light means go, or something like that. Hear this thing firing up. We're going to wait and see, make sure it fires up. So this is the exhaust port, because it's actually burning diesel fuel coming out of the fuel tank. It's pumping. It's brand new, we just put it on. Shoot, of course someone's calling me. I'll just get back to him here later. I smell diesel exhaust. There's the countdown, 59 minutes to the bottom left. Is it going? I think it might be going. Ooh, she's cold yet. Okay, we're gonna... It normally gets louder. There it goes. Steaming. Now we're fully operational. See, it's pulling up the exhaust there. Okay, now we're gonna wait an hour. We're still plugged in here, the light. We're gonna go warm up and come back to this. All right, we're gonna try this again. Apparently I come back out and checked it and it quit. Like, it's only been 10 minutes. Not even the Wabasto wants to go. If we can't get this thing going, you guys, there's no way in heck that this tractor's gonna go. No way in heck. You can have this thing plugged in all day long if you want to. You can have them plugged in all night the night before. That block heater does crap all when it's minus 20, 30, and 40. Does crap all. Without this, don't even waste your time. Don't even waste your breath. We've got many videos of trying to get these 7 Series Fendts going when it gets cold. Third time it shut off. Okay, what's going on here? One hour is the set time. Well, Mike, maybe it's because you have it plugged in and it's already warming up the coolant with the block heater. Maybe it's thermostatically controlled and it's sensing warmth off the block heater. I don't believe that's the case. Because we have these Wabastos on the semis, and we leave the semis always plugged in, and we have them on other tractors, and we leave everything plugged in all the time. We never actually unplug anything. They always stay plugged in, and then we'll run up and fire up these puppies when we actually want to get them going. So I don't believe that's the case. So here's hoping it's going to stay going this time. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. Holy cow, it's still going. It's the longest I think it's ran. Well, that's why. Our battery is low. Shoot. So it's probably kicking out because of that. That's hot. These are getting pretty warm. Well, I'm glad that we came in here and check this again. I'm gonna need to take this cord, put it on a battery charger, and stick it on my batteries. Because batteries also don't like it when it gets really cold, you guys. Obviously, you guys know that. On the last one, not this one, I don't think this one. On my last 720, I actually had battery warmers. You'd plug in the battery warmers as well. But Like, we can only plug so many things in here. You can only do what you can do. Oh, I kicked out. See if we can find our here we go. Here's our batteries. Okay. Whatever you want to do, guys, when it's minus 30, it just takes so much longer to get anything done. Okay, I'll put it on your little fancy dancy battery post that you gave me. I can't. Okay, I'm struggling. Just like that, we threw our battery charger on. So, just for information, if for some reason your battery is stone cold dead, which this battery is not, I know that, but if it was stone cold dead and it froze stinking hard, like how cold it is, your battery's shot. 9.5 times out of 10, your battery will bulge and it's completely shot. So that's why you don't want to let your batteries run dead, especially in the winter, because it gets very expensive very quickly. Well, Mike, I thought you said you have like kill switches in there. We do, and it was off. But if it sits long enough, I guess anything could probably find a drain somewhere. I'm probably gonna have to restart this thing. Okay. Maybe this time it will stay going. Okay. We're gonna let that go. I gotta go do a little bit of shopping here. We gotta try to find some party hats because it's New Year's Eve. You know, we come back and it's shut off again. We're having a rough go here, you guys. It's cold. The timer's counting down. I've already been back once already to reset the timer, hence it's at 52. Says it's on. It's definitely not on. We're gonna have to redo this. We start this thing again. Okay, it's reset for another hour. Okay, what is wrong with this thing? We got good juice in our battery, so that's not a low voltage deal. It's got the charger on, it's been on for a while. Well, it's a good thing we're not here trying to load semi-trucks, because this would get very frustrating if you couldn't get your tractor going after many hours of spending trying to get it going. Come on, old Bessie, come on. You got this. You start about as hard as the 720 does. Come on. 724, I guess, correction. And just like that, standing here, it shut off. Why do you hate us so much? Well, I'm not smart enough to figure this out. So we're going to have to call our dealership who just put this thing on here and get their 2 cents. Good morning. So update. It's January 21st. It's still warming up. It's only minus 28 and it feels like minus 40, I think, like something like that Celsius. So it is warming up. We're going to be t-shirt weather here pretty quick. The 724 has been plugged in all night. And you got to remember, whether it's plugged in all night or for 4 to 6 hours, it's only going to get a certain temperature, okay? But we just keep everything plugged in. I'm not the kind of guy that runs out and tries to plug it in for 4 hours here and there, unless I have to run a generator on it. But if I have the option to keep it plugged in, I will keep it plugged in at all times. On saying that, I did try and get a hold of my dealer there, Hero Dog, there yesterday. But of course, anytime you break down or have issues, it's guaranteed to be a holiday and a weekend. So this time it was both. Okay. So we're just going to try and get this thing going again. Let's see if we can't fire up this Wabasto. Remember, it was giving us issues. Wouldn't stay running. Still a light going on in here, see that? It's been plugged in. So first, I guess, let's try and start this thing how, you know, AGCO would want you to run it. We've had it plugged in. Remember, it's only like minus 30 out, so it's not that cold. Let's give this thing a whirly bird, shall we? We're gonna give this thing a whirly bird. So remember, we did boost our batteries all day yesterday. Remember, that it was charging all day. So they should be good. Let's give this. And of course, I forgot my key in the house. Okay, so I got my key again. I actually ran and grabbed the battery charger. I'm just gonna give it some extra cranking amps as we crank it over. Not that it should need it, but I want to make sure that we give this the best opportunity to get going as we possibly can. Keys down here. Let's give this thing a whirly bird here. Oh, no way in heck. Absolutely no way in heck that thing's gonna go. I knew that. I knew that. I've got so many videos of trying to get the 7 Series Fendt going when it's cold out, it's not even funny. But I just wanted to show you for yourself so that way you could hear it. The thing has been plugged in all night. The battery is good. We're still putting more juice into the battery, but it has been dipped down as low as, well, minus 40 degrees actual temperature. And now we're warming back up, as you guys know. Okay, round 2. Plug that radio. Oh no. Oh no. Nope. So it's quite clear that we're actually not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere anytime soon. Definitely gonna have to get the dealer to come take a look at the Wabasto, why that thing just keeps kicking off. It's not throwing us low voltage anymore because there's, well, we have enough battery power, but we don't have enough battery power to keep cranking on this thing because when it's cold, all your oils are super thick. They're like SERP, and it just takes a lot of amps to crank them over. And in fact, you can blow a fuse. At least on the 12.4 MAN 1050, if you over crank it, it'll just blow a fuse. We haven't done that yet. I don't even know if that's possible in these Fendt 724s. But I guess we could get a battery warmer. But then that's just one more thing we got to plug in. I had that on my 720, like the previous tractor to this one. To be honest, I think it's just another way to spend money if you really want to. Don't know if it really helped me that much. But again, there's only so many things you can plug in. So like one of this tractor's main purpose would be out in a field, and we don't bring them home. Because I know, like, well, Mike, I'm just going to rest you guys right here. Mike, why don't you just go and put the thing in a freaking shop, and then you're not going to have to fight like this. Obviously, you can't be expecting your tractors to start when it's minus 30 outside. Actually, I can expect my tractors to start when it's minus 30 outside. If I plug my tractor in, I don't care what tractor it is, John Deere, Polaris, or Fendt, I expect it to start when it's minus 30 outside. All my previous tractors have started when plugged in when minus 30 outside. So anyway, as I was saying, this tractor's main purpose would be out in a field. We could be 30, 40, 50, 100 miles away from home in a field. Hence, we put the Wabastos on. Hence, we can put timers on them. So that way we just fire up and then they're ready to go when we get here type deal. But so bringing them home and putting them in the shop is what I'm trying to say. It's not an option. It's not realistic for us in our operation. We'd have to have shops scattered all over the place, and that's just not realistic. The tractors have to sit outside, and the tractors have to start. Fortunately, we don't have cows. Huge credit, big props to all you guys that have cows when you get these cold snaps. I don't know how you do it. You're going to have a whole heck of a lot more reliable tractor, starting tractor than the 724, that's for sure, if you had to go feed those things. Because what would I do right now? If I had like a 200 head of cows I had to feed, this is my main tractor, my main feeding tractor, and I can't get it going. Well, my cows, what's going to happen? I've been down for, well, it's going to be 2 days now. And since it's a weekend, it's a holiday, I'm probably not going to get this thing up and running until Monday, so I could be down 4 days. Well, that's not an option either if you have 200 head of cows. You got to feed those things every day, especially when it gets really cold. Those things are eating like everything, from what I'm told. I'm not a cow guy. But anyways, the 724 with a I think it's a 6.1 liter Deutz engine. They're known to be really poor starters in cold weather. At least all my 7 Series Fendts have been cold starters. So all the ones that we've had, all 2 of them. But it's true. Actually, no, it might have been 3. Anyway, I can't remember. But anyways, but I'm not picking on Fendt here. I'm not picking on AGCO. Because we had a 7 Series frame John Deere tractor. It's a 7210R. 7210R. Previous to this one. What does it have in there for an engine? I think it's got a 6.8 liter John Deere engine, I do believe. And it was equally a terrible starter. Equally a terrible starter. That thing, you could keep it plugged in, and we had everything on it too, and it was about as poor as this thing. But the 516 has the smaller Deutz engine. Without Googling, I'm not sure what liter it is, but has the smaller Deutz engine, and it's a far better starter. In fact, the 1050, remember my 1050? It has a 12.4 liter MAN engine, and it's a way better starter than either the 5 or the 7 Series. Way better. I wish this thing had a smaller MAN engine because I think it's a better engine in my opinion, or at least it's been proven to be. And I've plugged that 1050 in at minus 25, because I can't remember why. I had to bring it in the shop and it was down parked on an air drill. So I just took the generator down there and plugged it in. I'm like, this thing's probably never going to go. And fired right up. Like on the 4th crank, it fired up. So, yeah. So there is that. Because I know what you guys are thinking. Well, Mike, you can't be, like I said, you can't be expecting all these things out of these tractors. But I can. You pay for them, you can, and you need to. They're tools. You have to use them. We can't just use our tools for 6 or 8 months out of the year and say, oh, no, I'm sorry, we can't feed our cows and we can't do all these things because it's winter now. It's winter. We get cold up in Canada. If you can't build a tractor that will start up in Canada, in the Canadian prairies, then just don't sell them. Or at least don't sell them to the Canadian prairies. But anyway, I want to go back to, remember up north, we were up north on the North Farm, like a couple videos ago. I put my generator on that 9620R, like the big triple tractor, the 4-wheel drive. That has a 15-liter Cummins engine in there. 15 liter. The bigger the liter size of all the engines, it just takes more cranking power to get that thing to turn over. It's just you're turning more engine over. Typically, you have more battery pack for it as well, but you're cranking more engine. And I put that generator on there. What was it? I think I said 4 hours or something like that. And it was cold. Not this cold, but it was still cold. And it fired up. It might not have liked it. And yes, it might not be super easy on the oil pumps and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, we have to use them. This thing is a lot less tractor, a lot less engine. And here we are. So we're going to keep boosting it because we've been boosting it. When I say boosting, I mean charging. We're actually charging it. And the battery is testing green. It's taking 20, 30 amps of charge, which is a good sign. And we're just going to keep charging it. And I'm not going to keep trying to start it because it's not going to go. I could have good battery and it's just going to go whoom, whoom, whoom. You're not going anywhere like that. We're going to actually have to wait till it warms up, till we can get the dealer to take a look at this Wabasto and so on and so forth. So anyways, guys, that's it. But we did have a 7220 loader tractor, not an R, a 7220 loader tractor. It's an older one, like a, shoot, let me Google that spec for you. I just Googled it. Yeah, 7220. It was a loader tractor. It was an older, pre-def, all pre-def, obviously. Had a 6.8 liter engine. Exact same engine that was in the 7210R. Now, I'm no heavy-duty mechanic or mechanic at all, or, I don't claim to be. But that 7220 tractor, loader tractor, you could plug that thing in on a day like today, minus 30, and it would fire right up. No issues. It was the best starting tractor on our freaking farm. Maybe Ernie. It's either Ernie or that tractor. Ernie, the Massey 1105 with that Perkins engine. I could plug that thing in and it would just fire right up. No big deal. So that's frustrating. So here we are. So Mike, why do you keep buying these Fendt 7 Series when they're terrible starters? Because I like the tractor. Like, I love the Gen 6. Not sure about some of the joysticks buttons yet versus the older previous gen joystick. But anyways, I like the tractor. I like the ride of the tractor. I like how the tractor operates. I like the fuel economy. it's all fun and games, but again, they have to be reliable. They have to be able to start when it's cold, and they have to be able to start when it's cold outside. Let's talk about DEF issues. We can't get the tractor going, so we can't tell if there's going to be a DEF issue. But I would say that there's a 70% chance that when we do get this tractor going, we're probably going to have a DEF issue. Well, Mike, why would you say that? Well, because these Fendt tractors have been plagued on our farm with DEF issues. We have two 930s. Well, we only have one now, but both our 930s have been major issue DEF. Like, we've literally dragged them onto trailers. We've grabbed another tractor and dragged it on when it wouldn't even go ahead, pump the park brake off and whatnot, and just drag the thing on, because when I think we break the DEF pump. I think it's the DEF pump that ruptures, and wherever these lines are, I've stated this before because I've done some videos like this. There's a main wiring harness that runs along the whole left-hand side of these tractors. Main wiring harness. Well, and right where the connection for this main wiring harness happens to be is right close to wherever the DEF pump is. I do believe it's the DEF pump that we're rupturing. And you gotta remember, DEF is corrosive. It's basically like a liquid fertilizer. It ran into the harness connection, corrodes it, wrecks it, obviously. So then you can't even hardly start. You can't move or start or anything without that main wiring harness. And so there you are. You have a literally dead tractor. So you just got to literally drag it on, take it to your local dealer. They'll pull it into their shop, strip whole half. It's a big job. You got to strip half the side of the tractor off to get to this harness. And then you put it back on, and after, I don't know, it might work for about a month or so, and it'll do it again. So we've done that numerous times on the 930s. It's happened once for sure on the 720, and once for sure on the 516, because I actually have a video of us pulling the 516 up on the trailer if you go scroll far enough back to last winter. And if you go far enough back, you'll see I had lots of issues with the 720 as well. So it is a major problem. The DEF issues is a major problem. Well, Mike, there's obviously DEF issues on everything, and that's true. I'm not picking on AGCO. There's DEF issues on everything. We have DEF issues on John Deere too. But the thing is, we've ran John Deere tractors. When we got some more, Dad got some more John Deere tractors, some newer ones. And because we're swapping some of the Fendt stuff out going back. Because we were John Deere, went to Fendt, and now we seem to be on the tractor side. We're going back to John Deere. The reason for that is because we have less problems. We're having less troubles. So even if they start equally as bad, at least we're having less issues with DEF problems. You got to have reliable tractors when you're out picking up grain bags. You got cows. You got to be able to have these things running. And why we have DEF when it's up here in the Canadian prairies and gets down to minus 40. Let's take a look at something here for a second. So I like to run my DEF below half. So this here is the DEF tank right here. See the seam, the split? This is where you fill it. Split the seam right down there. So it's below half because that's where I like to run it, because it's water. It's water, and it will also expand. So it will bulge and split the tank. We've had that. We've had lots of DEF issues on our case stuff too, like our 4440 case sprayers. We've actually split all the DEF tanks on every single sprayer one year. Every single sprayer, because we didn't leave it down enough. And yet there's this gray area. Some places will tell you, no, you need to keep your DEF low. Other places like fill it right to the top. Other people tell you just drain it. Just drain your DEF. And then of course you just delete it. That's the simplest thing to do. Just delete all your DEF. But C&H stuff is way easier to delete than John Deere or AGCO. Okay, and then you run into other issues because you're spending all this money on your warranty, right? And then of course your manufacturer's like, well, if you delete that DEF, we're going to void all your warranty. And you don't really want to do that either. So it's a conundrum. Anyway, talking about this DEF, empty, rock hard. So this DEF is froze like an ice cube. It's froze like a freaking ice cube in here. And there's a pump, and it's supposed to be able to pump itself out empty, right? Combines, sprayers, tractors. When you shut your tractor off or your implement off, you always hear the pump going. It's going. It's supposed to be pumping, sucking all the DEF back out of your lines, out of your pump and everything, puts it back in your tank. In theory that works. But obviously it doesn't work all the time, all that well, because we'll still rupture our def pumps. And we'll still have lots of issues with the CNH stuff, even when we leave it below half. So don't get me going on all this def crap, because that's a rant you guys are not prepared for. Trust me. So anyway, we are dead in the water until it warms up. Among many other things. So anyway, I would have loved to take this tractor north. I had the time to do it now, but it's not going to happen. So that's frustrating. It's freaking frustrating. My neighbor here, he's a neighbor. He came over off camera, obviously, because not everybody's all cool with the camera. You got to remember that. He's like, "What's wrong?" And I told him everything. And tell him, well, we got this new Wabasto on, but it's obviously not working for whatever reason. And obviously, I haven't figured that out yet, but it's probably something simple. And he's like, well, you shouldn't even need that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but we put them on stuff for when it gets full, all this cold starting. He's like, we have John Deere tractors. We just plug them in. We don't put them outside. We just plug them in, and they start. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, you didn't have it plugged in? I'm like, no, yeah, well, I had it plugged in. It's plugged in. But he's like, I still wouldn't go. I'm like, oh, no, 3 cranks, and that was about all we're going to get. He's like, you got to get John Deere. I'm like, yeah, I know, yeah, thanks. Making me look bad here, Fendt. All right. Adios. See you guys.